On this episode, I'm going to help you take the first steps to getting on top of your finances. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Property Investing Plus. Really excited about this one, should be fun. Just let me take these off. My name's Josh Redman. If you've been watching, you'd know that. And I'm here basically because I want to inspire and help you to use the money that you have more effectively. And one of the great ways of doing that is property investing. But that's not the topic of today. Today we're going to go right back to the very beginning, and I'm going to take you through a couple of techniques that are really good for getting on top of your finances, getting on top of your money. You've probably heard the saying that money makes a great servant but terrible master, and I tell you what, it is very true. So once you get everything in line and we set some good goals today, you should be well on your way to kind of getting a handle on what's going on with your money and where it's going, which is really important. So let's get straight into the show. So I want you guys to start thinking about your financial position right now, what it is, kind of the things that you're happy with, the things that you're not happy with. I want you to really start asking yourself, do you experience any financial stress? Because I tell you what, there is nothing worse than being stressed out about, being able to pay a bill or, getting something fall on your desk that you have to pay tomorrow and the money's not there. It's tremendously crippling, and it's true that you take it home with you. You go home, you talk to your spouse or your partner and, about money, and it adds to it, and it adds to the pressure within the relationship as well, which is not good for anyone involved. I want you to ask yourself questions, things like, okay, do I have a credit card? Is there anything owing on it? Is it maxed out? Do I have any debt kind of lingering currently in my life? Do you have any debt that you're really struggling to pay off? Another thing to think about is, did you go into debt over Christmas? Were you happy to pull out the credit card, pay for Christmas gifts now, knowing that for the first 6 months of next year, I'm going to be paying them back? Did you do that? Have you ever gone into debt for a birthday before even? And look, the key part, guys, here is just to be honest with yourself, because you need to be. You really honestly need to be honest with yourself. And it's the only way that we can move forward, because what we're trying to identify here is if you have a spending problem. Now, that is probably the number one thing that gets in the way of people achieving their financial goals, and it's also the way in which people get into that trap of their lifestyle matching their current income, and sometimes their lifestyle exceeding their current income. And that's when credit cards and debt comes into play. Whether you've got that champagne taste on a beer budget, which is very common for a lot of people. And now it's important for you to know that there's no shame if that's what you've done. There shouldn't be any shame associated with it, because in all honesty, the stats don't lie. It's literally becoming the normal thing to do, but that doesn't mean it's right for you, and that doesn't mean that you need to continue doing it. It's really time to level up your thinking, because if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're not going to get ahead. You're not going to create that wealth that you need to live the life that you really want to. So you've got to start changing the way you think. You've got to level it up. You've got to start thinking differently than what's considered the norm. And if credit card debt is the norm, and I tell you what, the numbers don't lie, it is now the norm, you really got to get away from it. You really got to adjust the way you think. The most common thing that happens, and it's a lot of what I've been talking about, is this concept that people learn how to survive on what they have, and then life changes. You get a better paid job, or you get that promotion, and income's a little bit more money. So instead of staying at that level that you were, where you were learning to survive, you're doing well, all of a sudden you splurge a little bit. Each week that passes, your spending goes up and up until you get to that stage where it then reaches, your income matches your lifestyle once again, and then that keeps happening. It keeps happening, and before you know it, there's so much unnecessary spending going on in your life that it's just the norm. But like I said, guys, it's time to break out of this really pointless cycle. It's time to really start thinking differently about all of that. So we're going to go a little bit deeper, and I'm going to get you to do a little bit of research. Now, I want you to take out your bank statements, okay? And try and get maybe at least 3 months of bank statements, maybe even 6 if you can. You can either obviously get them on the paper like you do in the mail, or you can check them online. Now that we've collected all that data, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that spending into the Money Smart Budget Planner. Now, this is a great planner that's provided by the government on their moneysmart.gov.au website. I'd encourage you to go and have a look at that website, but just so you have a copy of the planner, I've put a link in the description, or you can find it on my web page under the free resources. So if you go to www.propertyiplus.com.au, click on the free resources button, it'll be there available to download. And so what I'd encourage you to do is now transfer that data into that budget planner, and this is a great tool. You know, it has categories like income, home and utilities, food and eating, or entertainment and eating out, and basically once everything's in there, down the bottom it'll give you this nice little summary. So it puts how much you're spending in each category and then tells you if you're running at a profit or a loss. So this is where things get interesting. You've put everything in the planner, and now we're going to start thinking forward. Now, after looking deep into your personal finances, your family's finances, or your own personal finances, we're going to have a bit of fun and set some financial goals. Now, basically, I want you to set 3, okay? The first one I want you to set is the minimum. So this is the absolute minimum that you need to save. I want you to set a good target. So this is the okay target, you know, and then I want you to set the absolute best target, all right? So we want 3 targets. We want a minimum, a good, and a great. Okay, so we've got those 3 goals: the minimum, the good, and the great. Now, I want you to save the current spreadsheet as, you know, the current situation, all right? And then we're gonna go back in and we're gonna look at all the stuff we can cut out and ways in which that we can reach these targets that we've set. Okay, so I want you to do the 3 different scenarios: the minimum, all right, as its own spreadsheet. I want you to do the good as it's another of its own spreadsheet, and I want you to do the great as its own spreadsheet as well. All right, so we've got 3. So now we've got 4 spreadsheets saved. We've got the current situation, we've got the minimum saving, the good saving, and the great saving. All right, guys, so now that we've done all of that, what I want you to do is I want you to sit down with your family or with your significant other, and you guys need to start talking about what we've just gone through. All right, I want you to all talk about the current situation, the way things are, and then I want you to start talking about the goals that you've set. And listen, sometimes, and this is probably a lot of the times, it's good to involve family or your significant other in this overall process. So once you've finished watching this video and you're committing yourself to going and doing it, maybe get your spouse or partner on board with what you're doing, because setting a goal together makes it more achievable. Now, one more thing I'll just leave you with, one more little thought before we wrap things up, is that it's getting a lot easier to spend money on a credit card or debit card. So basically your bank card that's associated with the account. So one of the techniques that I use personally, and I would recommend anyone doing it, is setting yourself an allowance per week. So this is a bit of money that you're allowed to spend, whether it be $50, $100, whatever it is. This is what you're allowed to spend personally, and give your spouse one as well. So basically, once you've done that, when you get paid or when there's money in the account, I want you to go with your bank card each week, chuck it in the ATM, get the cash out, and just use the cash. All right, and I want you to put your bank card somewhere else that's not in your wallet, because if it's there, you're going to use it. Okay, so basically set yourself an allowance, have a bit of cash in hand, and just use the cash. So once when you go to look at your wallet, go, how much money do I have left? Okay, I have this much cash left. You're not looking at your bank statement or going onto your online banking app and going, okay, I'll just use my credit card or my debit card, my bank card associated with that account for this purchase. You're using the cash that you have on hand. So it's a great technique to just kind of limit the spending, limit the unnecessary spending, because I'm sure after you've looked at your bank statements, you've found out there is a bucket load. So listen guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Property Investing Plus. I certainly enjoy talking about this kind of stuff because I know that it helps you guys. So listen, if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and feel free to leave a comment below if you've got a question, or just use the hashtag Property Investing Plus on Twitter or Instagram, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you're lucky, your question will get on the show. So the question of the day, guys, today is: have you got or ever had a budget? And if you did, I want to know how it went. Tell me seriously how it went. Did you stick to it for a month, 2 months, 12 months, whatever you did? Even if you currently have one, tell me how it's going. I just want to know all about your budget. Put your answer to the question of the day in the comments below, and I will see you on the next episode. See ya.